Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope that the lovely person or lovely people listening to this episode right now is/are doing super well. If not, feel free to hit me up on my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, or Pinterest. Send me a DM and feel free to let me know what's up. If you're having a bad day, maybe I can offer some advice that can help, or maybe I could just serve as an outlet, somebody to just release all of your thoughts to. I'm here for you. I'm that best friend that's here for you. But anyways, going back to today's topic, today's episode is actually a request from one of my followers on Pinterest. So shout out to her. I say in almost every episode, feel free to let me know what you want me to talk about in this podcast, because this podcast is for you guys. I want you guys to benefit from it. I want you guys to find something valuable in it. So if there's something specific that you want me to talk about that can help you, it can potentially help many others as well. So feel free to hit me up and let me know what else you want me to talk about. But honestly, I never even thought about doing an episode on this. As you could probably tell by the title, I will be talking about how I became the quote unquote best version of myself. And I never actually thought about doing an episode on this because, quite frankly, I don't even believe that I'm at my best possible version of myself. I genuinely don't think that. And that's something I actually wanted to mention in the beginning of this episode. It's hard to reach, well, I believe everybody has different beliefs. Your beliefs is your belief, but I personally believe that it's very hard to reach your highest possible self. Especially in the beginning, it's honestly hard to get started, but if you confine yourself to a certain time frame or just in a short period of time in general, that makes it even harder. Because I started this podcast like a couple months ago, like 9 or 10 months ago, and shout out to you if you've been here since day one. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. And if this is your first episode here, shout out to you as well, because I'm grateful that you're starting this journey with me. But I believe that we are always changing. We are always evolving. So I don't think there can even be one. If you think that there's a best version, I don't even think there could be one. There can be multiple versions of yourself that we like. And there could be multiple versions of yourself that we don't like. So, like with me, for example, there was an era, like early 2000s era, when I was about 6, 7, or 8. I don't even remember, but early 2000s India, because my name is India, if you didn't remember. Early 2000s India that just did not care what anybody thought about her. Did not care about anybody else's opinion. Y'all could say whatever y'all want. I'm gonna live my best life. And because it wasn't until double digits that my self-esteem just started going downhill and getting worse and worse and worse for many years. But I really wanted to bring back early 2000s me. That early 2000s era of me, the one that didn't care what people thought about me, the one that didn't care about people's opinions in general, to be honest. So I ultimately did strive to do that, but I kind of found that it would be better to kind of amend that version, kind of change it, switch it up, if you will, where don't care about what people think about you, but more so not try to, because I do, but care about the people that I care about, their opinions about me, because they can always offer constructive criticism. And I take their constructive criticism to heart because I know that they want the best for me, and I know that they want me to change and constantly evolve to be better. So kind of care about what people think about me. The people I care about, I care what they think about me in terms of how they can help me become a better person. But if it's like completely negative, like, yeah, she's ugly because she's tall, no. We're not here for that. But honestly, I feel like one of the most important steps in becoming that best version of yourself is understanding that there's going to be different versions that you like and different versions that you don't like. Everyone's vision of their so-called best version of themselves is different. Whether it's someone who wants to be confident in their height, or wants to live pain-free and move their body more, or surround themselves with more accepting people, it's all going to be different. And that vision ultimately is completely up to you. And then you set that intention to become that vision or one of those visions. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'll do it. It has to be firm. It has to be like, yes, this is what I'm going to do no matter what, and nothing will stop me no matter how hard it gets. Setting that intention is so important, and you'd be surprised how powerful something like that is. Something as small as that is extremely powerful, because your brain will be like, oh my gosh, did I really say that out loud? Do I really have faith in myself? Do I really think that I can actually change to become a better version? Yeah, your brain will start saying that to itself, to yourself, and you'll be like, wow, oh my gosh, I actually have faith that I can change my mindset or change my outlook on life or accomplish my goals, whatever it may be. And it'll be like, yes, let's do it. Having that motivation is so important, whether you verbally motivate yourself, or you can even be like me and create a vision board of your goals, or tape a quote to your wall so that it's the first thing that you see when you wake up, or listen to a podcast like this one. Just something that motivates you to keep that intention that you set for yourself going. I create a vision board, as I said before. I create it seasonally, actually. So every 3 to 4 months, whenever the seasons change. So spring just started a couple days ago, so I made a vision board for the spring. When summer is around, when it's getting close to summer, I'm going to create a vision board for the summer. Same thing with the fall, same thing with the winter. But I try to do it every 3 to 4 months and kind of just check in with how far I got with my goals and set new ones for myself if I have new ones. And speaking of seasonal vision board, I also want to talk about timelines. I recommend not doing those. I strongly advise you not to do it. So what do I mean by timelines? You could say, yeah, by the end of this year, I'm going to be super happy with my job. What's something more concrete? Like, let's say, for example, you have a social media account and you want to hit a certain number of followers. You can't just be like, yeah, at the end of this year, I want to be at 10,000 followers. I mean, you can, but honestly, I don't think that's beneficial at all, because they work for some, but they don't necessarily work for anyone. And that was honestly a big mistake of mine that I made, because I feel like if I didn't do something in that time frame, like going back to the previous example, if I did not hit 10,000 followers in that year, I would feel like a failure. I would be so disappointed in myself. And thinking back, I was like, for what? Like, we're all on this journey and we all go at different paces on our journey. Some people move faster than others. Some people move slower than others. That's just how it is. As long as we get to that point, eventually it doesn't matter how fast or how slow we get there. And that's personally why I am against timelines, because everybody works at their own pace. And I believe that you'll get there when you get there. You'll get there when you're meant to get there as well, because the journey is not about the destination. It's always about what happens as you get to your destination, if that even makes any sense. But primary point I'm trying to make, don't rush yourself and don't slow yourself down for anything. Don't rush yourself for anyone either, and don't slow yourself down or dumb yourself down or do anything around that for anybody else. Understand that this is for you and you're doing this for yourself, and you will do what you want and what you need that works for yourself, not anybody else. We don't do that. We're a little bit selfish, but that's okay. It's good to be a little selfish, but just take your time and go at a pace that works for you, and eventually everything will work out all in time. It always does. And celebrate the little things you do. Celebrate the little wins that you have, whether you went on a walk yesterday or did a little yoga or stretch routine or something that was out of your comfort zone that puts you closer to that intention, puts you closer to that version of yourself that you want to be in that moment. It's really the little things that add up to create the bigger picture, if that makes sense. That vision, that's the bigger picture. That version of yourself that you want to become. Like, pennies add up to become $1. Dollars add up to become $100, and so forth. So the highest dollar amount, I guess you can say, is that awesome version of yourself that you want to be. And the little pennies are the actions, those small actions that you take to get there. They add up in one big jar. And honestly, it's extremely rewarding when you look in that jar and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all those pennies I collected. I really did all that. I'm elite. Same thing with the actions. You think back, it's like, wow, like I started going on a walk once every other week. Then I went to once a week to every other day. And now I'm walking every day. I really did that. Exactly. That's how it's gonna look. And please just be patient with yourself. Like I said before with timelines, it may not come as fast as you want it to. Believe me, it most likely never will. But like I said before, you will get there. It will come, okay? It will come. Just be patient with yourself and understand that I'm a human being and I need time. And honestly, I have faith that you will overcome any obstacles that you face. I have faith in you. So, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. I really, really appreciate it. As always, feel free to hit me up and follow me on my social medias at A Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for daily tall girl content. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know if you want me to do another part as well. Or just any other episode ideas in general, or how you're doing. Like I said earlier in this episode, this was probably just some preliminary stuff, but I can totally go deeper. I can totally go into specifics if you'd like, but that's if you'd like. So let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Good night and goodbye.